Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for a Thursday afternoon, May 10th. Like I've said, like I say every show, every time things go well or things go wrong, you never, there's ups and downs in life, ups and downs in this show. I would like to apologize on behalf of Al Mack for anyone who tailed Russia -1.5 over Czechoslovakia in the morning show. Apparently, that was a loser, Jim. Is that correct?
Pasternak and Krejci were dominant. Additions from after Boston got eliminated, playing on the same line together. But if you're tailing all of Al Mack's picks in IHF, you're way up. And I expect Al Mack to keep delivering the goods. Man.
Yes, absolutely. Bet sizing and money management is so appropriate. Why? Because no one wins 100% of their bets. In fact, almost no one wins even 58% of their bets. Although some people do, depending on what kind of bets you're making. But that is why bet sizing is so important, because the losses, and many of them, will come no matter who you are. Right, Jim?
Absolutely. Sadly, that's the case. We have some cappers joining us. Scotty Rock, Goose, Sonny Betts, Nick Dial, Carlos Peroge, Brent Brooks, Chris IG, Zigzag Man, Yanks Guy 30. That's a new poster, Yanks Guy 30. And he says Yanks -1.5.
Well, we're sure as hell going to talk about that one, because there sure as hell been some weird line movement in that game, which we sure are going to talk about, Jim.
I look forward to talking about it.
Yeah, we sure are going to talk about this one, Jim. SBR Sportsbook Review says, hello. Is that Larry, or is that who is that behind it? Who is that?
Larry.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Big Larry.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have going on here in MLB? And also Mark Lathrop and you, Jim, and a few other people were on San Francisco, and it was looking good to start. But people were saying that San Francisco's lineup is just so bad that even the nice little bump they got, scoring early against Velasquez just after 8.5 innings, they didn't have the lineup to maintain, right?
No, and the better play probably was just if I thought Vasquez was going to get touched regardless of the lineup, was probably just take San Francisco team total first 5 over.
Yeah, or San Francisco to score first, which was a Native Queen recommended play. Unbelievable there at -130, and that one cashed. Jim, not trying to you always want to confront losses that you have and look at them and not stick your head in the sand. So I'm not trying to make you do that, but you're also still up about 15 units on the year, which is awesome in MLB, right, Jim?
It's been a great start, but then we all remember I was up 17.5 units, 2.5 weeks into the year, went back down to 0 units, so I'm back up to 15 units. It can go away very quickly. But I'm thankful to be working with everybody here. Al Pacino, Tony Soprano's joined us. He hit with the Celtics last night.
Very
as
nice.
A lot of us
yes.
did. He is on Nashville Puck Line tonight.
Well, we're going to get into that. We got into that a lot in the morning show. I will tell you right now, for people who didn't watch the morning show, Jim's still feeling his way around about that game. I don't want to touch it except for tight play to start. So I did give the first period under and Winnipeg first period plus a half goal, which means that you have, if it's 0-0 after the first period, which could easily happen, both of those cash, right, Jim?
Yanks Guy 30 says, I'm hearing it almost every day, Jim. We'll post in the chat more often.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, Yanks Guy. We need you.
Maybe Yanks Guy 30 can give can shed some light on the line movement, because I don't know if you caught it, Jim, but some weird, wacky stuff going on.
Some weird, wacky stuff. But before I do, I want to mention that there's a bet I am interested in arguing. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but at Bet365, they have a juiced to the over. No goals in the first 9.5 minutes of the first period.
In the hockey game tonight.
Yeah.
No goals in the first 9.5 period.
9.5 minutes.
And you're getting
-105, no goals, -130, and a goal in the first 9.5 minutes.
That seems like an odd line. That seems like a very beatable line there. It seems like no goal. I would probably bet a prop that there's no goals in the first period at the big underdog odds. That's interesting. I wonder why. Maybe just a prop with value.
It's very interesting. And that's
feels like it's going to be tight, right? A tight game, right?
It does, yeah.
Brent Brooks in the morning said he likes Nashville because they have the better defense. You were sort of agreeing with that, right?
I do believe Nashville has a better defense. I've been reading more of Mohamed Joma's tweets on the opposite side. Al Pacino says, I signed up for IFBC. Can I please get a pass? I don't have any. It's not me. I don't make the decisions for IFBC. That's the the group here. I have nothing to do with it. They're making random picks, but I believe some people are getting picked right now. So
we can talk about the IFBC. Yes, just to disabuse anyone of this notion, Jimmy the Bag is not in charge of the IFBC.
No.
There have been some rumors kicking around. Jimmy the Bag is in charge of the IFBC. That is not true. I think that used to happen to me all the time. I guess because people, and I guess it's flattering. People watch the videos and people would be like, "Loshak's in charge of SBR. Loshak's the owner of SBR." I was like, "What?" It couldn't be. I'm second lowest on the totem pole, and I guess it's flattering that people think that Jimmy the Bag is in charge of the IFBC.
Yeah,
He is not.
Nice. It's nice.
It is nice.
I like getting that respect.
You just have an authoritative air about you. You have a baby-faced killer / authoritative air about you. But here's how the IFC does work. What you do is, and I was told this because I did ask about it. You register for the IFBC in the registration form on the ifbc.live website, right?
Yes.
So you register, you send your things in, and then what you do is you wait for them to email you back, and then you communicate back and forth.
You have to get a plane ticket and show proof of it. There's some things you have to do to get the spot, and you only get 30 days to get them. So I believe a bunch of offers or yeses are being sent out, but not a lot of people have clicked the boxes or jumped through the hoops to make it happen. So we'll see.
Goose is asking, when I said I'm second lowest on the totem pole, Goose is asking who's the lowest then. I don't really want to say it because I don't want to make people feel bad. You know what I'm saying? But he is in the room right now. Yeah, he is. I don't want to say it. But yeah, the point is, no, I don't own SBR. I'm not in control of SBR. I'm second lowest on the totem pole. No, Jim is not in charge of the ISBC. Jim has nothing to do with the IFBC administratively. All Jim has to do with the IFBC is to tell you about it and to tell you about how excited he is for it, which is true. But once again, go to the ifbc.live website. Go to the drop-down menu. Click on register, the registration form. Fill out the registration form, and you wait for the people to email you back. That's what I was told.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and I will post the link right now.
Yes.
On the bottom of the page.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yes, and Ad Hoc, great poster. Ad Hoc talking about some of the advanced vocab that we have used. He also said that he knew a priori that the Russia would play was going to lose beforehand. Very nice. Very nice. And for those who might not know what that means, that's not a compliment. If he knew a priori that the play was going to lose beforehand, that's not a compliment. Ad Hoc is insulting you, although I think he was just making a joke. All right, so let's get Brendan Cummings asks Jimmy and Pete, if I have a bankroll of $1,000, should I bet 5, 10, or 20 per bet, not including parlays? Well, should we answer that question very quickly? I mean, that's sort of a pro mod thing. Brendan Cummings, bet sizing is actually dictated by a thing called the Kelly criterion, which you can research online, or you can go to the Sportsbook SBR forum. People are talking about that all the time. Of course, bet sizing is paramount. Basically, Kelly tells you how much money you should bet, assuming a certain edge and assuming a certain bankroll. And if you want to play around with it, there is a Kelly calculator at the tools section of SBR, which I definitely use. Go to, I think, SBR Picks, and the tools section is all the way on the right. I don't exactly know the navigation right now, but there is a Kelly calculator at the SBR tools at the tools segment of SBR forum, and they also have nice little descriptions about what the tools do and why they're important. A rule of thumb, Brendan Cummings, is if you don't have an edge, you shouldn't be betting at all, or you should just be betting recreationally without an expectation of profit. If you do have an edge, roughly most people look to 1, 2, 3% of bankroll. Now, if you're talking about, a big favorite line that you think still has value, obviously you should be betting less with big underdogs and more with big favorites. Or if you're talking about props and your bankroll is low and you think you have a big edge on some prop, then sure, go up to 5, 8, maybe even 10% could be justified. But in general, rule of thumb, 1, 2, 3% of bankroll is what you should stick to. And that's only if you have an edge. Of course, if overall you don't have an edge, then it's still okay to bet, but don't have an expectation of profitability, because there's no betting strategy that you can use that will turn negative EV bets into positive EV bets.
That's well put.
Not bad,
That's
right?
well put. Absolutely well put. Before we move further, even though that was very well put, our man, our friend, and very helpful commenter, great capper, Carlos Smith says, give my wife and mother-in-law a shout-out, CC and Ruby. Do you mind handling that?
Let's go. Carlos Smith. I do know this guy, regular commenter. Shout out to Carlos Smith's wife, CC, and his mother-in-law, Ruby. Those are cool names, cool old school names, CC and Ruby. Huge shout out to CC Cece, we love your husband. Huge shout out to Ruby. We love your son-in-law. Treat him well. Treat him with respect. Everyone treat everyone with respect in life and on the chat and in Carlos Smith's family and in our family and the entire world over, Jim.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying, Jim? I don't know where that came from either. I don't. People are like, Loshak, what's going on with you on any given moment, on any given part of the day? I have no clue.
I'm just hanging on for the ride.
Yeah,
Man.
where the hell did that come from? I have no idea. Maybe that was the spirit speaking through me. Maybe it was Native Queen speaking through me. I don't know.
The Oracle.
But yes, huge shout out to Carlos Smith, and once again, we're giving a shout out to a Native Queen for yet another friggin' casher. Yes, the Giants lost, but Native Queen liked San Francisco to score first.
And they did it with the first batter of the game. That's why we had so much confidence in that. Kobe Valentine says, man, when Pete speaks, it sounds like angels having sex. Purely magical.
And you know, Kobe Valentine, not an easy guy to impress. Not an easy, as he shouldn't be. As he shouldn't be. A very discerning guy. Oh, thank you so much, Kobe Valentine.
Guy jerks off to angels.
Kobe Valentine, if you could hook me up with Canadian citizenship, would really fucking appreciate that. If not, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for the comment. All right. What else do we have going on here?
We got to start capping these games.
Yeah, let's cap these MLB games, Jimmy the Bag. Let's cap these MLB games, Jimmy the Bag. Once again, I am now positive, which is nice after having been down about 10 units a few days ago. And Jimmy the Bag just stacking units in MLB right now, up 15 and a half roughly. Let me see. What did we give in the? All right, let's start right off with the Yankees game. Okay, the Yankees obviously are awesome. But Jim and I both thought that the Yankees would be a good play in the morning show. In the morning show, there was already line movement favoring Boston, and now there's been a lot of line movement favoring Boston. Curiously, Mark Lewis got original hater, but now currently a fan, said that he likes Boston and cryptically said he has inside information on that game. What's up with the line movement? It's a big line move in favor of Boston.
It is a big line move, and when I was going over the lineups, that didn't explain why the line move is happening. I can't. I mean, it must be cash.
And here we go again, Richard West, a guy who often has contrarian plays
and does well with them.
Coming in with a comment: Boston is the play. Switches to all caps. I repeat, Boston is the play tonight. Uh-oh.
Wow. Yeah, Rashad Sutton. Rashad, we were talking about Rashad. First off, says Red Sox struggling against lefties. Only 2 teams in the league have a worse OPS than the Red Sox lefties. I don't really know why this belief. I love the way Sabathia is pitching, but Rashad, I want you to know that some very, very sharp cappers do like the Orioles today. It was and. You know, whenever something just looks so simple like that game, I get concerned. But I am on the Orioles team till over. We'll get to that game.
Now, Kobe Valentine likes to talk about reverse line move and stuff like that. Now, I'm assuming that the public is favoring the Yankees here. But when you look at this, on paper, right? You look at the lefty splits for the Yankees and the Red Sox, hugely favoring the Yankees. You look at Cece, who's been pitching great. And you look at Erod, who's been pretty vulnerable. You look at the Yankees' awesome bullpen, and you look at the opening line, and now you look at the line movement. That's got to tell you that the Red Sox are the play tonight, right?
Yeah, but the line movement in MLB has not bothered me. I'm not taking it. I think maybe in a couple months, but I'm not treating it like we treat NBA line movement. So, and the Oracle is here.
Yeah.
And the Oracle has spoken.
Yeah, she says in the Yankees game, no score in the first. Now, Native Queen said yes for a score in the first yesterday. I don't know how she knew that, and it definitely cashed today with CC Sabathia going and Erod, 2 much worse starting pitchers than what we had yesterday. Native Queen likes no score in the first 5 under and full game under. Look at that. Native Queen liking the under, first 5 under, full game under, and no score in the first inning. Interesting. I mean, CC's been pitching well. The Erod looks vulnerable.
Native Queen says, if I was to choose a side, it would be New York. And Yanks guy 30 says, Eduardo too inconsistent. Yanks 10 straight at home. It's actually 11. CC been on fire and has success against Boston. Has won last 5 dating back to 2016 against them. Not going to overthink it here.
Yeah, Baseball Bob and Richard West going back and forth. Richard West saying, trust me, Boston. But Baseball Bob not buying it. His most recent comment, at Richard West, Boston bullpen dejected. Yanks are on another level. Trust me. I mean, on paper, the Yankees look like they're on another level. On paper, they look like they have the big lineup edge here. On paper, they even look like they have a starting pitching edge here. And yet the line was curiously low when it opened. I wouldn't have been at all surprised if it opened at minus 170 or 180. And then a 20-cent move in favor of Boston.
Kevin K says Yankees run line, run line, run line. Alert Eddie says Yankees will hit the long ball. JK says the Yanks at a cheap line. I love it. These are great cappers. So I feel okay. And a breath of fresh air. Tony Soprano says, let's all get along okay.
I was just going to read that comment. I'm filled with love. Look at this. Al Pacino, let's all get along okay. We are here to win money. This is the best show ever. This is the best show I ever seen. We have great people on here. Native Queen and Darcy are the best, so let's all get that money, Tony Soprano. Oh, my
Beautiful.
God. How much love are you filled with right now, Jimmy the Bag?
We are moving in the right direction.
How much love are you filled
Fernando
with right now?
Diaz says, hey, guys, I love your show. Can I hear a shout-out to Portugal?
Oh, shit. Shout out to Portugal. Great country. Fernando Diaz. We have other viewers in Portugal. Jimmy and I desperately want to take this show on the road and do a world tour and do a show live from Portugal. I've seen some cooking shows about some seafood that they make in Portugal that will blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? I love Portugal, and shout out to Portugal. We would love to be there. All right. In the midst of all this love, though, we still have not made a decision about this Yankees game.
I have. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the play. I'm on the Yankees. Alan Action. Now, Alan Action, I heard a rumor that you have successfully jumped through the hoops and have confirmed that you are going to IFBC. We'd love to hear about that if you are. Yankees are the play. Alan Action says 8 in a row. I'm not getting in the way of that. Shaquille Bell, Yankees first 5 run line minus half plus 120. Great value, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, this is wow. Richard West, gambler fallacy. Don't fall for the trap, guys. Boston is the play. Keith Salton-Lamacchia, lean Red Sox. All right, so in the morning show, Jim took the Yankees on the money line, right? I took the Yankees -1, and I also took them on the second half -110. I mean, I could take it back now, but I think I'm just going to ride with it. But I think these people in Boston know what the hell they're talking about, man.
I do too. I mean, I obviously these are sharp guys. Rashad Sutton says I'm taking Yanks. Sharps trying to be geniuses, and man, I have a very fresh memory of the Kentucky Derby when the geniuses came in and dropped my boy Jack from 30-1 to 6-1 because it was in the mud, and those geniuses cashed 0 tickets.
I mean, I think there's more than one genius, so I don't know exactly what group of genius we're talking. How about the geniuses who bet the Mets Cincinnati early game up from 9 to 10, and that one wound up 2-1, and I was leaning on the under here. All right. Suffice to say, a clear big market movement favoring Boston. They opened, I'm seeing here, at plus 141, all the way down to plus 115 at Pinnacle, and that's not because of anyone who's out for the Yankees, right?
Right.
Amazing. All right. I'm not going to take it back. I'm going to roll with it. But I am on the Yankees -1. I am on the Yankees second half. Jim's on the Yankees money line, and clear market movement in favor of Boston. Richard West has spoken. He likes Boston. Mark Lewis spoke in the morning. He said, trust me, guys, I like Boston. A lot of people still liking the Yankees. Native Queen liking the under in this one, which is also very interesting. Kobe Valentine thinking Sabathia is going to regress. So I guess people are expecting a much better start than he would appear to be likely to have on paper from Erod, right?
Yeah. White Guy Video Games, though, a lot of people are on the under, and White Guy Video Games is not. Says, I still like the Yankees over. Both teams are hitting well, and Rodriguez tends to get a lot of run support.
All right. We could talk about this game for the whole hour, but we're not going to. It's been decided you're not going to take your big picks back?
Absolutely not.
All right. Neither am I. And, if they lose, they lose. Okay, let's move on to KC Baltimore, another game that's interesting. Jim and people on the forum were all talking about how Tillman is very vulnerable and likely to get hit here. I did take KC on the first 5 innings team total over 2.5 -127. Jim decided to double up. Jim took KC on the money line, and Jim also took the team total over full game for KC at 5 -113 in the morning. He has 2 picks on that one. I have one. Line has not moved that much since weirdly, Heritage and Bookmaker both have Baltimore as a favorite right now. So actually about a 10-cent market move in favor of Baltimore, roughly.
Yes, it's a play that's been building steam.
Yeah.
And I know that Nostra likes the Orioles here. It's concerning. It's concerning when these plays just feel too easy. And Tillman, in his last home start, threw 7 scoreless. So maybe I was just simplifying it, looking at these guys on the Royals. They all destroyed Tillman. I was very comfortable with this play. Chris Davis, if he wakes up Like, he had a 3-run homer. He's batting 176, 563 OPS. They need him so badly to wake up. Kennedy's looked really good this year. His whip is 1.3, a little high for a 2.92 ERA, which is a sign that there's probably regression happening or coming. And he's had a tough time with the Orioles. But, man, look at Tillman's numbers. He's just awful. Yeah. He's just awful. And if he gets lit up here today, I don't think he gets another start with the Orioles. So, but I can understand the play. You know, last time he was in this situation, he pitched 7 scoreless, and I get it.
Yeah, here we go. Someone else requesting a shout-out. Can we do this? Observer saying, Pete, can you give a shout-out to my girlfriend? She just got a house. Congratulations. She needs some money to finalize the deal. Now she says that I must win to give her some money. You know, Observer, I'm not sure this is the absolute best way that I would, first choice that I would take to go about doing that. But, yes, absolutely. Shout-out to Observer's girlfriend. You got a great boyfriend there. We'll do our best to give money, but, of course, to give winning picks. But, of course, sports betting for the few people who do win is a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. But us all working together feels like it's our best chance to get into that 2%, which is the rumor that 2% of accounts make money on these books. Now, I know that's a lot of recreational gamblers, but I know when we work together, we're very successful, and you can tell by our units.
Mark Lathrop says Kennedy's velocity is down, but he must have movement on his fastball to be staying alive in the bigs and doing pretty well. Not just staying alive, but doing pretty well.
And
Native Queen,
Tillman.
here you go, coming in. Observer, consider this for house money, maybe. Native Queen suggests KC Baltimore score in the first. Yes, over hits, errors, and runs in the first inning. So Native Queen likes a score in the first KC Baltimore, which makes sense, right? Tillman against Kennedy makes sense. Why that would that pick makes sense. There you go, Observer. Maybe tail Native Queen's pick on a score in the first inning, KC Baltimore.
Yeah, Melee Palace Way says, I cashed with the O's last night. I dare not try that back-to-back. But yeah, no, there's no question that something doesn't feel right. And I know people who quadrupled up on this game on the Royal side to take every single which way. I still think that Tillman is going to get touched. And if you just look at the averages against Tillman, they're incredible. So,
and interesting that Native Queen likes a score in the first, but not necessarily KC to score first.
Yeah.
So that means I think she sees vulnerability from both starting pitchers, but not necessarily more from Tillman. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, she would have just been like, hey, KC, no-brainer to score first.
You're right. And a lot, as I said, Nostra's on Baltimore as well. It's this doesn't feel like the ground fruit that I may have felt it was in the morning. And but I'm okay with the plays. Royals, full game, and the team total over is simple enough for me.
Yeah. All right. So Jim took it. I took a pretty simple fade of Tillman. Casey first 5 innings team total over 2.5 minus 127. We'll see how it turns out. Then Seattle and Toronto. I did take Seattle on the second half here. It's Leake against Happ. Leake is just a very vulnerable guy. I don't really want to be backing him right now. The Toronto lineup, I don't necessarily want to be backing them here. Maybe I should have taken a Seattle at the pretty decent underdog line here, plus 147. I wound up just taking them on the second half line at minus 110. What do you have to say about that game, Jim?
I know why you were off taking that plus 147. Yes, it's juicy, but Leake on the road's been awful. And Leake's at home's been awful. He's just been bad everywhere he goes. Observer saying, Jimmy, what are your thoughts about the Coors Field fate tonight? I'm looking forward. We'll get to that game, Observer. I'm looking forward to talk about that game. But I just feel like what Happ was doing was unsustainable. We've seen that. Especially in his last start versus the Rays. And now we're coming up to another team that hits lefties very well. 254, 736 OPS with the Mariners. I like the team total over 4.5 for the Jays. And I'm fading Leak, but yeah, I have a lean to the full game over, absolutely.
And I took Seattle on the second half money line, minus 110, and we'll see how that turns out. I should probably be tracking whenever I take like a second half line on a big underdog because I'm trying to avoid the bad starting pitcher, which is why they're a big underdog in the first place. I should probably track whether or not it's more value just for me to take the big underdog line because my sense is that it probably is. A lot of times when they come back in the second half, they come back and just win the whole game. And then they cash the big underdog line. But
yeah, a lot of guys on the Jays tonight. And Isan Sofagari, whom we love, says, "Would you endorse a Toronto Dodgers parlay?" I think what Kobe said here needs to be remembered. Toronto no longer has their closer.
Yeah.
Kobe says it scares him, and it should. It should scare everybody back in Toronto, and that's why I like Pete's play of the Mariners on the second half. without their closer and with that kind of bad vibe that he has created.
Right.
I get it. And Bobby Robinson says, great play, Jay's team total over. That's what I can have faith in. And I like my spot here.
Yeah. All right. Again, it's costing me almost 60 cents here to take Seattle on the second half. I'm getting minus 110. If I took them on the full game money line, plus 147. So I'm paying a big price taking Seattle on the second half.
Native Queen that was answering Observer and says, I have a spreadsheet of all the teams and how they score in the first inning.
Of course. Very nice. Awesome.
Nice to get my hands on that and roll up a bat of her week. She grows that shit. Native Queen does fills a lot of the boxes.
Absolutely.
Just an woman I'm looking for.
Just an impressive human being. Let's move on to Atlanta, Miami, another interesting game. Atlanta obviously has been great. Starting pitching matchup here, very, very interesting, right? Fultonavich has been good this year. Last start was not good. Smith started out the year with some iffy minor league numbers. First few starts were bad. Last 3 starts were great, were awesome. And I also took Atlanta here on the second half at minus 125. This one I did not have to pay that much of a price on, just about 30 cents I'm paying for it, or no, 20 cents, I'm sorry, because Atlanta right now is minus 106 as a small favorite, and I took Atlanta on the second half at minus 125, and Jim has a pass on that game, right?
Yeah, I do have a pass on this game because Fultonavich does not look good. And I was a big believer in him in the beginning of the year. Still has fine numbers, 3.65 ERA, 1.35 whip. That's all you can ask for. He's got 43 strikeouts in 37 innings, but his walk rate skyrocketing. It's now a career worst, 4.1 per 9. He did not look good in his most recent start against a light-hitting Giants team. And Caleb Smith looks like he might have been a steal getting him from the Yankees. I'm not sure if that will continue, but his ERA in his last 3 starts is 0.99. He has struck out 26 batters and walked just 2 in those 3 starts. I'm impressed with Caleb Smith. Now, we do also know that the Braves smash lefties. So this was a situation where I couldn't find an angle that I really liked. Brent Brooksy saying Braves have a lineup that can rake. I love Acuna and Albies. I don't know. Really, to be honest with you, I don't know why they picked up Batista, but Anthopoulos, Batista have a rich history together. I don't think that's the right move for this young up-and-coming team. But I just Marlins are hitting just 224, 626 OPS. If they were hitting 230 with a 700 OPS, I would take them tonight. And I think Antuna and Albies are going to just create winning seasons after winning seasons for this Braves squad.
Parlay Pappy says, I feel like Fultonavich, all in caps and spelled absolutely perfectly, is going to regress to 2017 numbers. Not too impressive. Yeah, look, I'm taking... I'm not exactly sure what to make of this starting pitching matchup. I'm just going to take a lineup edge, I think. Although the Braves don't have a good bullpen, I would give a bullpen edge to Miami significantly. I'm going to take the Braves on the second half, minus 125. And we'll see how it goes. Let's see.
Josh P. Kosh, shout out, said, told you guys Phillies. He did. And he says, thinks Red Sox is the play. That scares me, but I've done that.
Wow. Okay. And Campsite Killer likes Atlanta full game. We could talk about this game for a long time as well. I'm on Atlanta second half. Jim's going to pass on that one. Next game. Go ahead.
Like to shout out to Campsite Killer, another guy who's had our back and been with us since day one. So much love to Campsite Killer.
He's on Atlanta. I hope you're right. I have him on the second half. Next game is Milwaukee and Colorado. Obviously, Jim has been just taking the underdogs on the alternative run line every game at Coors this year. He did it on this game as well. He tells me and his personal bet, he got plus 240 in the morning show. The best line we could give was plus 225, and I did also go on that one. I took Milwaukee minus 1, and I also took Milwaukee on the second half. This is an interesting game. Obviously, Chassin starting for Milwaukee, very, very vulnerable, but he does have experience pitching at Coors. Marquez is an up and down guy. I might be wrong about this one, but I have him as a guy that I'm looking to bet on the road and fade at home. And again, with the volatility and Milwaukee's lineup, I think it's okay to take Milwaukee on the second half and minus 1. And Jim just took him just one way, plus 225 on the minus 1.5.
I think that's a very sharp thing that Pete just said about wanting to fade Marquez at home fade him at home and then take him on the road. I think that we all have to remember that. I think that could be very, very sharp. Scotty Rock Forever saying, Jimmy Bag, you not scared that Chassin used to pitch in Colorado? Not afraid they might know his stuff? Thoughts? Listen, I took a good look at this Rockies lineup, and it's never been weaker to me. I've been afraid. This Rockies lineup's been so tough and so scary in the last couple years. And there's a reason why this Rockies team is hitting 228, 699 OPS. It is not a strong lineup. Cargo is nothing like the player we expected him to be. And so, no, I'm not worried that, in fact, I like it. I like that Chacin has a vast experience at Coors Field and has pitched well there, 23 and 23. Remember, there were some bad Rocky teams he was on. So 23 and 23 isn't too bad with a 4.23 ERA. And he's got a 3.31 ERA against Colorado. I like it. I don't dislike it. I like that he was there for a long time.
Brendan Cummings likes the Rockies in this game, and a lot of people also liking the under. Ro G likes under 11.5. Matt Elsey likes the under 11.5. Dom Ricci riding Colorado on the under, and I believe in the morning show I remember a bunch of people were saying they like the under as well.
And as Matt Elsey saying, Lathrop was one of those guys.
Lathrop liked the under. There you go. Holy crap. All right, so maybe look. I'm starting to get a little scared in general of these Colorado totals, but we may be leaving money on the table here by not taking an under in this game. It does have an 8:40 start, so if last minute I decide that I really want to take that one, I might tweet it out and add it on. A lot of people that we respect liking the under here.
Yes, a lot of people that we respect. It's something I need to maybe put some more time into it. Observer says they're talking about getting rid of Ian Desmond, and Ian Desmond's numbers are atrocious this year. And then our man Nighthawk, a non-101, says, I love the live chat. I live for this shit, Pete.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you addressing me personally on that one. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, and I hear you, baby. I do hear you, baby. All right, let's go. So once again, I'm on Milwaukee second half. I'm on Milwaukee -1, and Jim is on Milwaukee -1.5. And a lot of people we respect liking the under at 11.5. Washington, Arizona didn't have an overnight line. I didn't have a chance to handicap that game last night, and I didn't get to it in the afternoon, so I have nothing. It's going to be a pass for me. Sometimes I just do that. You have a play on this one, Jim?
Sorry, I'm just answering Magsy quickly. What was the what game are we on now?
Washington and Arizona, Rourke against Greinke.
Yeah, I initially was planning on making a move with Greinke. What is the line movement been today, anyways?
The line movement on that one. Let me see. On the money line on this one, not much movement. Opened around -135. Still right around there.
Yeah, Rourke has impressed me, and there's no doubt about it that Nostratoda's in my head. He really is, and I love it. I love that he's shitting all over this Diamondbacks team that's 24-12. I think that's extremely exciting stuff. And when someone makes comments like that, it just sticks in my head, and I love it. Like it makes my heart beat faster. Mark Made Man says Arizona super run line, and right below it, Marcus Colon says Nationals is the play. This is another spot I'm comfortable. Greinke has not looked good this year, but he's looked great at home. And he looked incredible at home last year. He actually has better numbers at home this year. So 1.49, he's 5-1 with a 1.49 ERA in 7 starts against the Nationals. 1.85 ERA in 4 home starts again in this at Chase Field. So and Tanner Rourke has been not like last year. He's looked good. So I'm going to comfortably stay off this game and keep studying this Diamondback squad that Nostra despises.
Yeah. Why does he despise him so much?
He just thinks they're way overvalued, that their offense is shit. He thinks that it's a smoke and mirrors show that's only working early in the season. Now that those aren't his quote unquote, but that's just
interesting stuff. We will certainly be talking about this a lot more in every show for the rest of the MLB season. Definitely. We'll see how it turns out. Then we got 3 late games: Minnesota Angels, St. Louis, San Diego, and Cincinnati Dodgers. I have only one play on those games. That is Cincinnati second half +105. Jimmy the Bag does like St. Louis. He got -130 in the morning, and also took a shot with the over Arizona and the Dodgers game at 7.5 -104. Interesting, of course, in light of how awesome Buehler has been. Jimmy the Bag liking the over. Has had some success though recently, cashing with some of these 7s and 7.5 overs, some of these low totals with the overs.
I sure have. Not only that though, this was a play that came out of us breaking it down together that I wasn't initially on. A couple people have mentioned that over the last couple weeks, the add-on plays I've made are hitting at a very, very high rate. And this was an add-on play that I wasn't playing. It was the only add-on play. I feel like the Dodgers got some confidence. I think Molly might be getting a little overly excited. He's already a guy who throws 42 strikeouts and 39 in the third, and he's allowed 9 home runs and 39 in the third. He's got a ways to go to figure out how to pitch long-term in this league. So I think that Buehler regresses. I think that Molly gets too excited. I think the Dodgers feel better about themselves after finally stopping Corbin on the third try this year. I quite like this over 7.5.
Very, very nice. Yes, very interesting stuff. And some stuff. Comments coming in. Opinions coming in. Isan Zolfagari, you are leaving money on the table, guys. This was the first bet I made today under 11.5 in the Colorado game. Wow. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting shit there. Maybe we are leaving money on the table on that. Hard to imagine leaving money on the table with an under in Coors involving Chacin and Marquez.
It's crazy to think of it, but
yeah.
I mean, one thing I know about Isan Zolfagari is he truly does have our best interests in mind, and I it's hard not to.
All right, so once again, I'm on Cincinnati second half. Jim's on St. Louis money line, and the Dodgers over in Cincinnati and the Dodgers. And I was also vaguely thinking about an under in the St. Louis San Diego game, although that line has gotten bet up just a little bit. It's now up to minus 115 or so on the over. I was thinking about a shot with the under here, but I guess I'll hold off on that one for now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trickier spot. I get it. I tell you what, this I find the Twins Angels is a tricky spot, but that Cardinals play I really like. I just don't see Jordan Lyles as a starter, and he's looked good as a reliever. He looked terrible last year. He's looked terrible, as a starter. He's looked bad at Petco Park. He's never won there. I just even though the Cards are just a 228, 698 OPS team, I really feel that's a nice spot.
Farouk Islam really liking the Reds here. Farouk Islam says, guys, Reds will surprise us. They will win by at least 2 runs. Jimmy the Bag, I know you feel like you are a little bit ahead of the curve, liking Cincinnati going forward. I might have done it. I might be getting too cute here. Again, it cost me 50 cents. I took Cincinnati on the second half. I got plus 105. The full game is all the way up to a plus 161. And I'm going to check Bet365 right now to see what the alternative run line would be on this one for Cincinnati, because one thing I can guarantee you, it's juicy. I don't know how juicy. It's going to be juicy. I'm going to check right now, Jim.
Yeah, please do. It is juicy. But
why don't you like Cincinnati here, Jim, as a huge underdog?
Because of Molly. I just think that if you've watched him pitch, he's emotional out there, and he throws hard, and he gets strikeouts. And now he's an Orange County kid. In his first start in Dodger Stadium, he's going to have tons of friends and family there. I think he throws very hard. And I think when you connect off of Molly, it's going to go deep. And we've already seen that all year, 9 homers. I'm going to watch this game. I'll probably pass out at some point during it just because it's a late game and I wake up so early. So maybe I'll have to just record it, watch it again in the morning. But I just think that I need to learn more about Molly. He's because the other guys, I feel like I've got a nice read on. Romano, we jumped all over that. Now, Dom Ricci, he's a New York guy, and he's a great capper, and he says for us not to take anything from that series against the Mets, that the Mets are just a bad team. So, but I like Castillo, I like Romano, and I think that having Suarez back is going to spark this Reds team, and I think we'll find value with them moving forward. And Marcus Colon says, Reds are a live dog. I said it earlier. Mark Maidman says, I love the Dodgers today.
Hako Schofield says, don't do it, Pete. Reds suck. Yeah. Kevin K says, keep sleeping on Bueller. He keeps filling my pocket.
Well, it's not that we're sleeping on Bueller. It's that we see now Minaya kind of broke the trend, but, Bueller just threw 6 innings of no-hit ball and feels very, very good about himself. And that can be a tricky position to be in when you feel so good about yourself. I think Walker Buehler's a stud.
Meantime, the alternative run line for Cincinnati is plus 300 at Bet365, plus 300 at Bet365, plus 285 at Pinnacle, and Farouk Islam believes that Cincinnati wins by 2 or more today.
Alonzo Shivers is on the Dodgers run line, and Richard West says, I got to agree on the Reds.
On the Reds. Wow, interesting stuff. On the other hand,
Richard West was probably the guy that started turning my interest in when he started taking them on the reverse run line in that series when they won their first 2 games. He's getting plus 300s, and I was like, Richard West did kind of turn me on. Although we've been talking about those young pitchers, we've been talking about them all year. We knew that they would start improving. Suarez being out and Schebler being out. I think Schebler is an exciting ball player who's really going to help this team. Both those guys being out of the lineup, Votto getting off to a slow start. Everything's set up for them to lose early in the season.
Mark DeMann, though, saying the Reds are not winning today. This is no-brainer. Dodgers rookie pitching great.
Yeah, I hear that. I love the over here. I think that this was and Nasty Nate says I like the Reds today. Another shout out to Nasty Nate. We have so many of these guys that have stuck with us since the beginning. I love them all so much.
Yes, interesting shit here. You know what I'm going to do? I understand that Hako Schofield just has my best interest in mind when he says, don't do it, Pete, Reds suck.
All in capitals.
Yeah, I understand that, Hako Schofield. You're genuinely expressing your opinion and your concern for me that I'm about to do something that will cost me a unit. But I think I'm going to take Cincinnati -1 here. I think I'm going to do it. Cincinnati -1. I think I'm going to add it on. The money line part of that is +161. Again, the alternative run line part at Bet365 is +300, so that work out to 240, 250, something like that. If they win by one, it pushes. If they win that by more than one, then I just feel like the Dodgers easily can get overvalued, especially with a young phenom rookie pitching so well right now. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely know what you're saying, and I think the play is very exciting.
All right.
Kobe Valentine says Buehler has been fortunate to pitch out of trouble so far during his first 3 starts. Dodgers don't have enough pop to scare me away from backing Molly on the road here.
Right, and Molly, who knows what's going on with him, but Cincinnati could take this one late. I'm going to do it, folks. I understand, Hako Schofield, what you're saying, and you may be right there, Hako Schofield. You may be right, and I may be totally wrong, but I'm going to take a shot with it. Cincinnati -1. The best money line is +161 at BetOnline, and I'm going to take the alternative run line -1.5 +300 at Bet365.
You know, Kevin K puts it right. He says, you cray, Pete, but I won't talk you off +300.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should ever be talked off of +300. If you have a feeling on a dog at that point, you should be able to freely run and try and get that cash. And I like it. But Matt Elsie's running with me. Dodgers, full game over 7.5. Matt, I like the spot.
And I think if you like the over, that definitely supports a play on a big underdog line there. Sure. And it's all about the odds. That's what sports betting is. I mean, at a certain point, Cincinnati -1.5 +1,500. We would all be all over that, right?
Without a doubt. And Parlay Poppy says, what happened to Ohtani? Stud, of course. Third start, he got smashed.
Yeah. All right, so once again, the St. Louis-San Diego game, Jim actually took St. Louis at -130. That has now moved about 10 or 15 cents in his favor. Pinnacle up to -144, but Kobe Valentine liking San Diego as the underdog here, as a home underdog. I was thinking about a shot with the under, but I think I'm going to hold off for now. And I guess that's it for MLB. Anything you want to add? Anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the line movement was in the Barrios versus Richards spot. Yeah, Maddie, we're gonna get that cash, Matt. I feel really good about our spot here. I feel very interested in what's going on with this Barrios spot. So I felt like the market was begging us to put a play on him because he hasn't looked good in his last couple starts. And I believe you could have got him at like a +140. Is that still available for the Twins?
For the Twins,
Jose Barrios.
Best line right now, not quite +134 at bookmaker.
And I would have, I could have easily predicted that. It felt like the market was begging you, to take Barrios and the Twins. Twins have won 5 straight. They've won 9 out of the past 13 meetings against the Angels. They scored at least 4 runs in their past 9 games, but Barrios just doesn't look right, and he just stopped a streak where 8 straight innings he allowed at least 1 run, and he stopped that. But he just 3.98 ERA. He looked lights out in the beginning of the year, and he doesn't look like that right now. I loved Richards' bounce back start after getting lit up by the Yankees. But in saying all that, I'm not taking the Angels tonight. I'm just not going to do either.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I guess that's about it. So once again, the plays that Jim and I are on, I'm on Atlanta second half. Yankees -1. Very, very weird line. We'll see how it turns out. Yankees second half. Seattle second half. Milwaukee second half. Milwaukee -1. Cincinnati second half. KC first half. Team total over 2.5. And I have thrown on Cincinnati -1 as well. Jim is on Yankees money line -130. Weird line movement. We'll see how it turns out. Toronto team total over 4.5. KC money line and KC team total over 5. Milwaukee -1.5. St. Louis money line and and Cincinnati Dodgers over 7.5.
Did you say Milwaukee?
Milwaukee -1.5, right?
Oh, of course. Coors Field fade.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, I wasn't. I just with that play. I mean, I did cap that game, but not as intently because I knew I was blindly taking it.
Right. Okay, I guess we've covered all the MLB. Let's see.
Isan Solfagari says, "Wow, Pete, how your balls have grown."
Yes, they have a little bit. I've been well. Listen, yeah, you're right. I've been trying to be cautious about it. You know what I mean? I've been trying to have a nice mix of being cautious about every play, but also taking shots here and there. First time I did that was with that Detroit -1. That one cashed easily.
That was gorgeous. That was a turning point. I was very proud of that play. I mean, I wasn't on it, but I was proud that you made it. And now we're both plus. We're about 6 weeks in, and this is where we want to be. Plus 6 weeks in, have confidence and move forward.
Just like like in the Kentucky Derby, you want to be a half length off the lead, something like that. Nice little pace, running at a brisk pace and a brisk consistent pace. Al Pacino says, "Thanks, Bag. I will always love you. We are all here to win money and get along. We are all family. I just don't like haters. We are all low baggers, and I love everyone." Tony Soprano.
It's nice to hear that.
Look at that. Look at fucking that. Who would have look at that comment of the fucking day from Tony Soprano. Cheers to Tony Soprano, Al Pacino, whatever. Thank you so much. Love you so much, Tony Soprano, Al Pacino. All right, let's see. Do you want to move on, Jim?
I do, and I think Vitalis has started it out right by saying Game 7 series tied 3-3, Jets Predators under 5.5. What you hearing on the wire?
Yeah, all right. So we don't have any tweets coming out today. Is that what's going on here?
We don't.
All right, we don't even have a segment. We may as well just mention it. If you want to tweet at us, we are doing a Twitter thing. You can have your tweets addressed, live in our shows. And we've had some interesting stuff. One guy asked Jim, how do you bet horses? Jim could have given a 2-month lecture on that, but instead he did his best to cover it in 5 minutes. We've had some interesting tweets and some tweets of praise and love coming in, which we appreciate. In future shows, I believe we're going to continue it. And if you want to tweet at SBR Sportsbooks, use the hashtag #GetThatCash, right? And we will address it live. Once again, if you would like to sign up with BetMania, please do so through the link in the description box of this video. And now, after that, we can get on to another discussion of Game 7 tonight. Once again, I'm expecting early tightness.
I am too, but before we do, our friend and a man we love, Lamont Williams, says, "Since I can't get no shout out."
Oh, of course, I shout out Lamont. Look, the truth is, because there have been a few times when Lamont Williams has asked us for a winner or two specifically, and I feel like we failed him a little bit. So I feel like you know what I'm saying. I apologize, Lamont Williams. I remember there were a few times in recent.
Yeah, I do remember.
You were
that.
asking for some. You were like, I had a bad morning. Could you guys hook me up with a winner tonight? And I said, we'll do our best, and we did do our best, and we didn't give you winners. So Lamont Williams, yes, that if you've noticed that we're not shouting, that I am not shouting you out, that's why, because I feel a little bit bad about the fact that we couldn't deliver.
Oh man, Lamont Williams, I give you a shout out all day, every day, man. Thank you for always being there for us since day one. Respect, and he's saying good luck on our picks today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I believe that Lamont Williams was on the wrong side of a few of those NHL plays, that we were on a few of those Boston Bruins. You know what I mean? He was like, "Can you give me a winner for tonight? I had a bad morning," and we were like, "All right, we like Boston, loser." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Apologize for that, Lamont Williams.
Man, he's still with us.
Yes,
he is still with us. So back to what Vitalis is saying. I just think that Game 7 that we saw between the Bruins and Leafs shouldn't get in our head when making this prediction. Yes, I think it will be tight. I think it will be tight early. The fact is that
much like two virgins having sex for the first time, right? No, I'm sorry about that. I apologize for that. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It just came into my head, Jim. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, you're allowed to have those thoughts.
Yeah, it wasn't even that funny. It was, sorry, let's move on. Move on,
you're
please.
You're allowed to have those thoughts.
All right, okay.
As long as they're over 18, you're allowed to have those thoughts.
All right.
I just feel like this is going to be a tight game. And you guys know my futures on the Pens lost. My futures on the Ducks lost. I have the Predators that can still give me a nice profit on my future action. And I did hedge with a $100 bet on the Jets to win the Cup at 7-1 plus 700. And so I need the Predators to win here. I made a bet. I didn't publicize it. I'm not putting it on my official record or anything. But I did make a $200 bet on the Jets just in case. So I'm not extremely angry and concerned. But I like the Predators here. I like a low-scoring game here. I predict a 3-1 or a 4-1 final. But the Jets are a tough team. But I just feel like Nashville has got them right where they want them.
Okay. A lot of disagreeing opinions on that joke I just made, much like the Yankees game tonight. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just trying to make good video content here for SBR Sports Picks. Once again, in the Winnipeg-Nashville game, I'm taking the first period under. I did take Winnipeg first period plus a half at -180. And you're taking. I didn't even. Did you say you're going to make a pick here, Jim? Sorry.
You're breaking over a couple of virgins.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'll just take one. The play that I think looks quite appealing is that no score through the first 9.5, and I'm going to take one look at it. But no, I've got too much riding on this game right now that getting a unit or making a small bet doesn't really appeal to me. I don't need it. Like, it's not I've been in much worse situations with future bets, but so before 9 minutes and 30 seconds elapse, time of first score, no score before 9 minutes and 30 seconds elapse is -105.
Feels like a good bet. Why would that not be a good bet? I did take the first period under. In the morning, it was -115 at Pinnacle. Now it's -124 at Pinnacle. So a nice little 10-cent move in my favor on that one. Let's see what happened with the plus a half goal line for Winnipeg. Yeah, well, UWager still has +180, but BetOnline up to +190. Pinnacle at 189. Yeah, feels like that would be a good play there at Bet365.
It does. It feels like that's a good play. I've been talking, but now the only concern, and we've seen this happen before in Game 7s, is the home team scores early, the home team scores again, and just kind of lucky bounces, or like the Jets go down, hit the post, Nashville breaks down there, and then the floodgates open up. But I think this will be tight early, and I think this is a spot that I'm going to take. So, when's this game start?
8 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay, I will be making this bet. And here it is right here at Bet365. No score before 9 minutes and 30 seconds elapse.
Okay.
At -105. It's juiced to a score happening before 9:30 elapse. That's -135 there. I will take this bet.
Okay,
and
so
I will make the bet.
All right, so can you just tell me if it wins or not? Because I guess I could go back and check the time of the first score.
Oh, no, I can, yeah.
Unless it's close. All right, so Jim's going to take no score in the first 9 minutes and 30 seconds. No score in the first 9 minutes and 30 seconds for -105. I'm writing it down right here, Jim. -105. No score, 9 minutes and 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think that's a nice spot. I will bet this. I will bet this.
I will say that more people than not are liking the Preds tonight. Mally Mal, Preds. 5 times, not 3 times, 5 times. Mally Mal liking the Preds. Let's see. Bill Butlicker likes Preds, but only 3 times. Preds. Wow. Tom Reno says, I think Winnipeg will come out with a lot of energy after getting shut out. I'd lean first period over. Okay. If they do, then hopefully I'll get a push where Winnipeg will win my first period plus a half goal line. Let's see. What else do we have? Going on here? Comments coming in. All right, now we're back to
Chris Lomas saying on that too, Jimmy, no goal in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Brandon Cummings says, okay, Jim, if you are betting that, then I will root for you, brother. Thank you. Alan Action says those wagers have been good, Jimmy. And Matt Elsey says Jets, Preds, whoever wins will win the West. Now, I really hope that I have to figure out if I'm going to hedge my action, and I most likely, I definitely won't on the series, and I won't take the Knights to win the Cup. So, but I hope I have to worry about those things. Bobby Robbins says Nashville come out of the gate just like Justified, and that's very possible, but I think that would be a mistake. I really do. And Mohammed Joma earlier talked about in a comment about them playing like the 95 Devils. I think that's how they have to play. I really do. I think you just don't want to go guns a-blazing and create. If you screw something up offensively, you create an odd man rush for the Jets. And there's nobody like Laine I mean, Philip Forsberg is a great player, but there's nobody as exceptional of a scorer as Laine and electric as Laine on this team, and he can change things very quickly.
Well, everyone I'm seeing is, now they're coming in. Tom Marino Tomor says Winnipeg at plus 130 is my play. Vincent K. Maxwell says Jets taking it. No team loses twice in a row in this series. So we got a couple people coming in here on Winnipeg, but more people than that are liking, way more people. Most people are liking the Preds here. Most people are liking the Preds here. Brent Brooks liking the Preds. Nathan Davis liking the Preds. Kobe Valentine liking the Preds. White Guy Video Games, I just took Preds minus 1.5. Predictions guy, Preds times 10.
Scotty Rock forever says, sorry, why don't you think there will be a score in the first 10 minutes? I think it's imperative not to allow an odd man rush in the first 10 minutes of the game. I think it's imperative not to get off on the wrong foot, and I just think the sticks will be clenched tighter. And we really got to put a line through that Bruins Leafs Game 7 as an example of what could happen here.
Yeah. Everyone, more people. I'm seeing Preds. Parlay Pappy. Here you go. Correlated parlays can have value, and as we know, you can't parlay like puck lines and totals, but you can at many books parlay sides and totals. Parlay Pappy. See what you think about this, Jim. If you like the Predators, parlay with the under. If you like the Jets, parlay with the over.
I think that's very shrewd. I think that's a very sharp thing that Parlay Pappy is.
Tom Marino Tomor says, I do think the officials will let them play. Fewer power plays, should play to the under.
Yeah, I agree. And, now this building's going to be rocking. And this building's going to be rocking. This has been such an incredible series. And a lot of people saying that the Jets have been better than Nashville in the series. I don't think that's been the case. I think it's been even. 5-on-5 at 12-11 edge Nashville. 66-65 advantage for Winnipeg in high danger chances. They've each attempted the same amount of shots and put the same amount of shots on net in 5-on-5 play. They're both 2-1 on the road. I mean, this has been an extremely tight series. The only thing that has happened is Hellebuck has outplayed Rene. That's the only thing I see as someone being outplayed here.
And we do have some late picks here from Native Queen. Some more MLB. Thank you so much, Native Queen, for sharing these picks with us. She says, Atlanta score in the first. That's Atlanta to score first. Atlanta to score first and a lean to score in the first inning. So Native Queen liking Atlanta to score first and not necessarily a pick, but a lean to a score in the first. Yes. Let me see. What the hell? I can't even remember. I know I took Atlanta on the, okay. All right. So Native Queen likes Atlanta to score first, despite the fact that Smith has had about 2 or 3 lights out starts in a row. Native Queen liking Atlanta to score first. Again, can't really say that that one does make sense to me, even though I just feel like Atlanta has such a lineup edge here. You know what I'm saying?
They do have a lineup edge. There's no question about it. I'm just in love with that one too. And the Marlins bats are terrible. I am amazed that they are 7-11 at home and 13-23. By watching their games, I'm just amazed that they're able to produce any runs.
Atlanta to score first right now at Pinnacle. Again, you can line shop props like these and oftentimes get better lines. But at Pinnacle right now, minus 150 on Atlanta to score first. Minus 150.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like it. I like it, and don't forget we have Lucky Larry's Plays of the Future.
Oh shit, Lucky Larry! No, not Lucky Larry.
We're not sure.
We're not sure.
Lucrative Larry.
Lucrative Larry. I don't even know what lucrative means when applied to a person. You know what I'm saying? How can a person be lucrative? That means like whacked out of his mind on ayahuasca? What does that mean, lucrative?
By the way, I heard that there's a ayahuasca place 30 minutes from here.
No.
Yes,
really?
Fact.
I'm going to go there fucking first break I get, which will probably be in 2022 when I finally get fired. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going there at first break. All-Star break. Yes. Hopefully I can do that. All right. I definitely need
JR Ryder says, how did you guys just lose 100 viewers? We lose 100 viewers at the start of baseball every single time, JR Ryder.
Yes.
Every single day. Even though we have long balls Larry about to hit it, we everybody goes to watch baseball games, JR Ryder.
Okay, yes. So we will get to long balls Larry's. I just want to get to some Mohamed Joma asked earlier, should we be nervous about the Yankees, the line move in the Yankees game? Yes, Mohamed Joma, that was the first topic we talked about. The answer is yes. Jim and I, though, are still rolling with our plays on the Yankees. Although, if I hadn't made it in the morning show, maybe I wouldn't have given it. But Jim and I are just going to continue to roll there.
And Kobe has an important point about what I just talked about. He says, Jimmy, you know why they win. Teams take this as a day off when they play the Marlins. And he's absolutely right. It's a great point. They play half-assed. They partied up in Miami. It's why the Heat would beat teams when they were crap also. That's a great point, Kobe.
Interesting shit. Okay. And Kobe Valentine's final point on that game, he says, looking at stats, there's no edge. It's who has more heart today. I think Winnipeg just too young. Nashville wants this one bad. Okay. I mean, that's basically it. I would say 80%, maybe 75% of the comment section is on the Preds. Few people on Winnipeg, some back and forths on the totals, and maybe the shrewdest opinion of all is if you like the Jets, parlay with the over. If you like the Predators, parlay with the under.
Yeah, I think that's great. I love that Parlay Poppy added that. I think that's a shrewd. I think there's a lot of shrewd comments today, especially predictions guy calling Larry Lumpy Nuts Larry.
Okay.
And that's what we don't want. We don't want our young Larry to find a lump on his nuts prediction, guys. So please, I don't. If he becomes Lumpy Nuts Larry, he might not have a long time to live. So let's keep the lumps off of his nuts.
All right. So on that note, shall we get Larry in here to see what he has?
Not quite yet. People have wanted to know Larry's numbers, and Larry's had a couple of tough losses in the IHF World Championship. So right now, and we have graphics coming in as soon as we know if we're going to go with Lumpy Nuts or Lucrative or what we're going to do. But Lumpy Nuts isn't so bad. Old Lumpy Nuts is 2-4. On his Lucrative Larry's Plays of the Future, down 2.3 units. And I believe in him. I still believe in him. Larry, are you ready to do this? I am so ready. Let's do this, Lumpy Nuts.
Just give him some space here.
Sure.
Let's give him some space. The balls might be growing. Give him some space. Let him man spread here. Man spread. For those of you, shout out to New York City. Talk about man spreading on the New York City subways. Go ahead, Larry.
Russia fucked me, but I don't give a shit.
No.
I'm taking Czech Republic.
Tomorrow.
Taking Czech Republic. Plus 115.
Plus 115. So you're getting. Are you taking them? You must be taking because they're not. Are you? How are you taking them?
I'm taking them over 3.5.
Minus 3.5.
Minus 3.5.
That
right.
makes sense.
Right.
Minus 3.5.
I am. That's what I'm doing.
And who are they playing?
They're playing
the Belarusians, I believe.
Fucking Belarusians.
Those dirty Belarusians.
Fucking motherfuckers.
This is reminding me of like first grade, and when people are like, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of first grade / second grade vibe to that conversation. Right?
There was, yeah. So Lumpy Nuts is on Czech Republic minus 3.5 over the Belarusians. I guess he saw Pasternak and Krejci. They look very, very good additions. And Hako Schofield said he's putting $5,000 on it.
Okay.
Lumpy Nuts.
Good call.
Dangerous. But yes, that's the Czech Republic minus 3.5 Belarusian over the Belarusians.
Okay, there you go. You have Lumpy Larry's pick of the future. You have Jim and I's MLB picks, which I'm just hoping comes out slightly positive once again, as we've been doing. We have the picks for the NHL game. Once again, seems like most people are on the Predators. Few people liking Winnipeg. I'm just liking first period under and Winnipeg first period plus a half goal. Jim liking no score in the first 9 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. And that's it, right, Jim?
That's it.
Thank you so much for all the wonderful love. Today was a great show. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Time.